Hello and welcome to your show, Just For You. And this is your man, Suniwayne Fella. I'm so glad to be with you today. And we have some very interesting story to tell you. Over time, I have been wondering, that I want to take a step of faith, actually. But I'm going to make an announcement very soon. I am very passionate about the people of Liberia and Liberia as a country. Very passionate. I would love to do something, for Liberia and for Liberians that they will never ever forget. Because, I live in Liberia and I was born in Liberia, grew up in Liberia. I think I was about 30, maybe 28 or something when I left Liberia during the Civil War. I wasn't very young. I was up there. And then I left and came to the States when I was about 34, 35 years old from Ghana. I was a refugee in Ghana for 6 years, in Ivory Coast for 3, and then Ghana for 6, and then on to the States. I've been here now for over 25 years, maybe, or less, something like that, in that ballpark. But, I'm so troubled within. I'm so grieved within to see things that are unfolding in our country. How our people, sometimes their mindset, the way they think, the decisions they make, it bothers me in a way that I believe that there are people in Liberia who could give a helping hand to our people by educating them, making them knowledgeable about situations that could hurt them or could do better for them. But it seems like most of us are only trying to get what we can get and don't care about the rest. And that is a negative, it have a negative impact on our people there in Liberia. Liberia have like so many infrastructures and things that our people need, but there needs to be the right people that will be in the right positions in Liberia that will try to help, not to insult the leadership, but try to work as hard as you can, talk less and do more. Let people see what you are doing. So I want to say thanks to my subscribers, thanks for the returning ones, and those of you who continue to share my video, like them, and I get and being notified when a video comes up. I'm so excited for you. Thank you so much. And those of you who watch my videos and have not subscribed, I ask your indulgence. Please do. Because as I say, I will do everything I can. Maybe the weekends is a little bit difficult for me because I go to church and I do some other stuff around my house. So it's hard for me to put something up during the weekend, but once in a while I will. But Monday through Friday, I promise that I will try everything I can to put something up for you to be able to see. But today I just want to give you a little story. It is not story time, but there's something I'm going to use a story, a biblical story, to drive home some, wisdom and something that most of us, it is not specifically to a certain group of people or a country, but I've noticed that most of us don't use the word thank you. Many times we share things with people. People ask and they say, could you please give me? Could you please give me? They will write emails and text messages, and they will call and blow your phone to pieces. Sometimes at night you want to sleep. You can't really sleep because 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, they are blowing up your phone and knowing that you have to go to work in the morning. But this is what we are faced with, most of us, even here in the diaspora. Back in Liberia, I believe, I faced it when I was there. We took some toys for Christmas and we were able to distribute them to kids. And I'm telling you, people had to literally tell them, say thank you. And that is a sad thing that we tend to go through most of the time. But I just want to also look at from the book of Luke, okay? The book of Luke, I want us to look at the book of Luke a little bit here. Luke chapter 17, verse 11 through 19. I'm not going to preach a gospel. I just want to give a biblical insight on what's the meaning and what's the essence of saying thank you, how important it is to say thank you. Because, when you tell someone thank you, it's like being blessed. You're blessing the person, and the person in return, because of the acceptance of that thank you, you are being blessed by God. So I just want to give you a little story about what Jesus did and who he encountered. It was the book of Luke chapter 11, as I mentioned, 11 through 19. They said, now Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem. He was walking by the border of Samaria and Galilee, when he saw 10 men who were lepers. They had leprosy. And these men cried out to Jesus. Because I want you to understand that in those days, if you had leprosy, you were not allowed to stay or live in the town with those who didn't have leprosy. So they drove you out of town to go and live in the desert somewhere, because they were afraid that that particular sickness might incorporate other people, and everyone in the town could have leprosy. So they put them out of the city or out of the town to go and live their life until they die or until they get well. We don't know, but that's what they used to do in those days. So Jesus happened to be passing by, walking by the border of Samaria and Galilee, when these 10 men saw him. And they spoke out aloud and said, could you please have pity on us, Son of God? And Jesus decided, knowing who he is and who he was and who will always be, he decided to tell them, he said, go to the priest and report yourself. They went to the priest and they were all healed. They were cleansed of the leprosy. All of them left, but one person came back. He prostrated before Jesus. He lied down before Jesus. And what did he do? He said, thank you. Thank you. And Jesus said, I thought there were 10 people. Where are the other 9? He said, so no one else came but this foreigner? He's the only person who could come back to me and tell me, thank you. I want us to understand that the statement, the word, thank you, is very, very important. You could say thank you to people, and that could make that person want to do more for you. But if we always don't tell people thank you, when we give things to people, and then you never tell people thank you, it hurts them. It feels that they are not appreciated, that what they did for you was meaningless. It was countless. It didn't mean anything. And because of that, sometimes people's hearts are hardened. They don't want to even listen to things that you say anymore. They don't want to listen to pick up your phone calls. They don't want to read your text messages. They don't want to read your emails. They don't even want to be bothered with you, because they felt you were very unappreciative, ungrateful for what they did for you. The word thank you is very important. Even Jesus recognized that. He said there were 10 of them. Why are the other 9? Only one, this foreigner, came back and told me thank you. And because of that, that one that came back and said thank you was healed completely of his leprosy. The other 9 regained their leprosy. They became lepers again, because they were not grateful enough to tell the man who told them, go to the priest. And they went there and was healed. They couldn't even come back to him to say thank you. I don't want to be specific, but there are so many people who have contacted us, talked to us, encouraged us, played with us, begged us. And when we take heed and try to help them, they walk away and act like it's nothing. Some people, you send them $50, say, is that all you can send? You send them $100, they will never tell you thank you. I don't care what you do for them. They will never tell you thank you. I was in Liberia for 46 days. We did so much. And I'm not bragging or boasting about it. But that's who we are. We are people who love to give. We are compassionate. We are passionate people. When we see people suffering, we try to stand with them. We try to give them a helping hand. Because I tell you, even me, Sonny Wayne fella, Well, once upon a time, way down the line, I had nothing. I suffered. I suffered. There were times I remember I almost wanted to commit suicide because I didn't even know where my life was headed to. I didn't know what was going on with me. Things were so bad. I remember once upon a time, things were so hard and I wanted to steal. I wanted to become a drunk and say life is meaningless to me. What is life? There is nothing about life. And I was so sad, depressed, disoriented. But when somebody decided to stretch his hands towards us, towards me in particular, I remember that every time they did something for me, I always told them, thank you. One little thing they did for me, even if when we're refugees, when we suffer, we're in Bopley for 2 years. I lived in Bopley. I made a farm. I had turned black and dark because of the charcoal from the farm. And the Lord was able to provide means for us to get from in that village to head to Ivory Coast. And they had a place there like EAW in the Ivory Coast. We used to go there to make phone calls. A lot of Liberians used to take advantage of that. Each time we went there, we tried to talk to our relatives and family, parents in the States to try to plead with them to help us because things were difficult. And the guy who was running the place got mad at me one day and he told me he would never allow me to use his phone anymore because I was passing the life of my parents here in the States. So he stopped allowing me to use his phone and things became difficult. My stepfather, I called him once upon a time using different means. He promised to send me $300, but he lied. He never did. I was awaiting that money, planning on making plans. I had my family, my children, and my wife making plans because we couldn't get a job in Ivory Coast. My wife attempted selling fried plantain on the street of Côte d'Ivoire, of Abidjan. And the gendarmerie came and drove us and said she couldn't sell on the street because she didn't have a permit to do it. And she was a foreigner. But you heard what Jesus said. He said all the 10 that came, 9 was walked away and never came back to say thank you. But this foreigner came back. I was a foreigner in Ivory Coast, in the Côte d'Ivoire. And we suffered. We suffered. My wife's uncle promised to send her some money. We went to go and find out it was just 100 francs. That's all he sent us. We were grateful. But 100 francs, what could he have done for us as a family? We're about 6 of us. But he did the little he could and we appreciated it. We said thank you. But the Lord heard our cries. He heard the word thank you from our mouths and from our hearts. That we were very serious about it. We were very committed to it. We were devoted to telling people thank you. And because of thank you, God provided someone in our lives. Our godfather, may his soul rest in peace. He died from cancer a few years ago. He left us. That man was so good. That's why sometimes we wonder, why does God take away the good ones? That man was so kind. He was so merciful, so compassionate. He was so nice to my family and I. Nothing was so great for him to give us. Whatever we asked him for, he was willing to credit. Whatever means he had to do it, he would do it and give it to us. And he didn't stop there. He did whatever he could. He was a missionary in Ghana, Accra. And he did so much for us. I remember once upon a time, we were so many living in a house. In a rented place, in the church compound. And the mosquitoes were so much, the walls, you could hardly see the walls because of the mosquitoes. And things were so hard, we couldn't work, no money. And my wife and I decided to go and speak with him, with our godfather, Uncle Ralph. May his soul rest in perfect and perpetual peace. And the passing of all of our other families and friends, relatives. I told him, Uncle Ralph, thank you for the chicken. And he would bring a chicken or a chicken and he would say the chicken should last you for 1 week or something, maybe 4 days to a week. And we say thank you. Thank you, Uncle Ralph. And each time we told him that, it motivated him more to want to do more for us. One day we decided to go tell him, Uncle Ralph, we really appreciate what you're doing for us. But you know it is stated in a parable that it's better to teach a man to fish than to always give him fish. Because if you teach him, he can do the best on his own to fish and be able to earn for himself. But if you keep giving him handouts, he will continue to be dependent on you. And that's not who we are. We want to do things for ourselves. And Uncle Ralph, knowing we're Africans, we're Liberians, he told us once upon a time, he said, Isaac, if you go to the American embassy, the first 30 seconds that the consulars see you guys from Africa, they believe you guys are going to lie. That only lies you're going to tell them because you want to travel to the States. That's what he said. But we never lied to him. We told him the truth. And Uncle Ralph was a man. He would say something. You would say something to him. And the next day, he would ask you that very same question to see if you would repeat the very same thing you said to him the day before. Or maybe a few hours later, he would ask you the same question and to see if you would say the same thing that you said a few hours ago, because he wanted to know if we were lying to him or we lied to him about something. But we always told the truth. We always told the truth. And because of the truth, that's why we are here in America today. And I want to just tell you, and the reason I'm saying that we told Uncle Ralph truth, but when we were to come to America, I had to travel, well, in Ghana, I had to travel to Liberia to see if we could get passports. That time Liberia was upside down. It happened that God provided the means about in a month. And what I did was, 3 weeks, I couldn't get the passport. I decided not to take bath or change my clothes. I kept the same clothes on, never took my shower for almost 3 weeks and I kept crying to the Lord that, Father, provide us this passport, because this is an opportunity. We can't let it go. 3 weeks, I never showered. I never changed my clothes. And one day I went to where they had the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where they had during the wartime, the passport division, and I was able to get all 6 passports. And the thing is, I traveled back to Ghana. We went to the embassy for visa. They rejected us. They said no, they couldn't give us visa. They stamped our passports. Many people told us, oh, you guys have to change your passports. You guys have to change your passports. But I tell you the miracle that God performed. So Uncle Ralph said, Isaac, why don't you all go back to Liberia and try maybe from that end? Saying you are Liberian, it might work out for you. He gave us his friend, Peter Rapp. He's a very good man as well, kind and very, very good man. He was the man who was helping us mostly financially. He sent us some money and we all went to Liberia, 6 of us. At the time we were 6. We went to Liberia. And we went to the American embassy on that Thursday. I can still remember. I remember it very vividly. We got there very early in the morning. We got a taxi, chartered a taxi that took us there around about 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And we sat before the embassy. That morning they came around about 8 o'clock. They gave us papers to fill out form. And after we did that, we went into the embassy. And was 6 of us when we were in line, even going, some people were discouraging my wife. They said, where are you guys going? 6 of you, there's no way that we allow you guys to go to give you all visas. You are wasting time. Maybe your husband can go first. I heard them talking and discouraging her, and I told her, get before me, sweetie. Not get behind me, but get before me. Because we know we are God-fearing people and God going to perform a miracle today. We went in there. After a while, they called us. There were a lot of people that were rejected. And they called us to the window. And when we all walked towards the window, the counselor there said, no. I want only this man. All of you, go back. My wife and children, she said it. He told them, say, go back. And you know what we did? We did not change our passport. The stamp was still on it. You know, it takes 6 months, right? Before you can go back to reapply for another visa. 6 months. But it took us 6 days. And we're at the embassy in Monrovia. At the American embassy. I went to that window and the man said, where are you all going? And I said, we're going to the States. He said, which state? I said, Minnesota. To do what? I said Bethany University, Bethany College, Missionary College have given us 100% scholarship. And that's where we are going. He said, oh, I don't know, but you know, they're so cold over there. The snow is just too much. And then while he was doing it, he was looking through my passport, He went to the back of the passport where he saw the stamp. He said, do you know that your passport was stamped in Ghana? I said, yes, it was stamped. And he said, 6 days later, you are here for visa? I said, yes. He said, you know what? I'm going to give you visa. And I will give your entire family visa to travel to the States because you were truthful. Many times people will change their passports. People will change their passports and come to us after they were denied. But you did not change your passport. Your family did not change their passport. You brought the same passport they stamped in Ghana. You brought it here and you did not lie. You told the truth. And because of that, I'm going to issue you and your entire family visa. So go and sit and I will call you later. And brothers and sisters, I tell you the truth. He told you, come back on Monday. Your passport, your everything will be ready. Monday I went back and our visa was already stamped. The letters were ready. And that's how my wife and our children were able to travel to the States, to Bethany College of Missions, but now it's Bethany University. We graduated from there with honor. Why am I telling you this story? It's because when you are grateful to people who helped you by telling them thank you, the Lord sees it and he blesses you. Today, we are wallowing in blessings because of the word thank you. Uncle Rab did all he could with Peter Rab and they were able to finance our coming to the States. First, I was to come alone because they said they didn't have much money to take us on. But when they got to the school and the school saw my paper, they said, oh, he's married with children. They said, we're not going to accept him until he comes with his kids. Where will I get the money from to pay 5 other people way to come to the States? I was the only one that were willing to pay my way. But because of who we were, so dedicated and committed to the things of God, and we never the word thank you never left us. Whatever people did, whether they gave us crap from the table, we said thank you. Whether it was a crumb from the table, we said thank you. Thank you was the word on our lips each time we met somebody. And because of that, God provided the finances for my entire family. And that's how we all came to this country together. I want to plead and beg you all. Please say the word thank you when someone gives you something. When someone hands you something, they didn't have to do it. It is for them. They work for it. They got what they have. But when you ask them and they give you something, use and say the word thank you. And that thank you bring blessing to you as well. Not only to the one you are saying thank you to, but you who's saying the thank you because of being grateful, because of the person you are. Be thankful for what you have received from someone. God going to bless you for it as well. So let the world know that us Liberians, we are people who can say thank you. Even in America, Liberians say, don't say thank you. We have friends who come to our homes in Minnesota. I remember, and they would never say thank you. We go to Liberia, we give people stuff. And I'm not bragging or boasting about it, but I'm only trying to advocate to be or advocate on behalf of be kind and merciful to people, because I want God to bless you. And when God bless you, guess what? He blessed the Republic of Liberia. He blessed everyone in Liberia, because if everyone in Liberia adopt that system or say thank you for whatever anybody gives to you, God will bless you for it. God will bless you for it. We see what happened to the 10 lepers. One man came back and said thank you. And God said, when the 10, where are the other 9? Jesus said that. And he told his man, because of what you have done, because of your faith, go in peace. And that man was healed. And the other 9 got back the leprosy. So if you say thank you, if you are grateful, God will bless you. And you begin to move from the ground to a mat, to a mattress, and then all the way on a bed, and then up and up and up. Today, God has blessed us. We can give to others. Before, people were always giving us, but we never fail to say thank you. But now we are able to give. You see how the table had turned? We are able to give. And we don't want you to lose out on your blessings, because we didn't lose out on ours. We didn't want for you to lose on your blessings. We want you to be blessed as well, to be better off than even where we are at. But if you fail to say thank you, you will not be blessed, because you show ungratefulness. And God is the omnipotent, the omnipresent, and the omniscient. He's always everywhere at all times. He's the all-powerful. He's the King of kings. He sees all things that happen. So if you say thank you and he knows from your heart, he will bless you. He will bless you. But if you are stubborn and hard-hearted and never say thank you, but just receive and walk away, God will not bless you. Even though I'm not him, I don't make decisions for him. He makes his own decisions. But I know I am a living witness of the word thank you. And that's why I'm here today. May God bless you. May thank you become a part and parcel of your life. To tell someone, thank you for what you've done for me. Appreciate what people do for you. Be grateful for what people do for you. And God in return will bless you, and you will become or achieved person. So thank you for watching. This is your show, show just for you. And this is your man, Sonny Wayne Fella. Be blessed.